Hi beauties, welcome back. It is MUA Tavia. So for today's video, I am getting ready for a MAC event. I am a MAC freelancer. So we have an event going on at the store today and I gotta bring it. Like the face has got to, it's gotta eat. So I am going to be I'm starting a series where me as a makeup artist, we always need to be learning no matter how long we've been in the industry, always need to be growing because beauty is an evolving, ever-changing industry while being a billion-dollar industry. So we always have to keep learning, especially someone like me who's new. So I wanted to start following makeup tutorials to get better at my craft, either on myself or other people, and show you that it is a growing you have to evolve when you're in this industry, and to encourage you to take classes as well or to learn from other people and to stay open because we don't know everything no matter how long we've been in the industry. So for the skin, for the base, I already know what I want to do for the eyes. It's going to be super pretty. But for the base, I'm going to follow, I believe her name's Uchjn. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but she's in the UK. She's a black girl in the UK, and you already know about the black UK girls base. It is absolutely flawless. So I wanted to give her today for my base, and she has a whole TikTok series about doing her base. So we're going to follow that. So follow along with me while we do that. So she has a folder on her TikTok called Makeup School. So you press that, and then she has a whole series on her makeup. So let's follow that. So she said brows and skin prep, which is insanely important. Like your makeup's only gonna look as good as your skin does underneath. As someone with acne, oily prone skin, I know that heavily. So for moisturizer, starting off, I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Collagen Moisture Filler Moisturizer. Absolutely love this stuff. It is only $11. It is a thick cream, but someone like me who has oily and acne prone porous skin can actually use it. Like if you can find a thick cream and you have oily acne prone skin that works for you, go ahead and use it because moisture is so important. So I love it. And it said you can use it as a makeup primer. Any moisturizer you can use as a makeup primer, but since L'Oreal is a makeup brand too, they let you know like, hey, this can be a primer. Like you don't have to buy this for a moisturizer. You can use it as like a cream primer. Next, I'm going to go in with my Black Girl Sunscreen. We already know from my last video how I feel about this stuff. Absolutely amazing. Blends in nicely, doesn't leave a white cast. And it's moisturizing. Okay. She used the Weleda Skin Food. I've heard great things about that. You can actually get it at CVS. I've seen it in person in the States. I definitely want to try it, but we're going to let that sink in. And while we're letting that sink in, we're going to do our brows. She's using the Refi like brow sculptor gel, which is okay. I'm going to use eyelash glue. If you've never seen that trick, if you really need your brows to hold, like hold, and to stay pushed up, not moving, like glued to the skin, use eyelash glue. So I'm just taking a spoolie with eyelash glue on it. And you work fast because eyelash glue dries. Bit of makeup remover. I use the Garnier Fructis one. I'm going to use a little bit of that on the top because there can be residue that sticks to the skin and that could interfere with your makeup. So if you try this eyelash glue hack, it's great, but make sure you wipe off like around the perimeter because the residue on the outside could interfere with your makeup. She's cleaning up her brows, and the product I'm going to use for that is, we're using concealer. I'm going to use LA Girl Pro Conceal because I know it works for me. I use this because it's amazing, affordable, come in so many shades, and it's matte, so you're gonna look like extra glam. It's gonna stay in place. We just make sure we'll set it with powder. So I'm just mixing 2 shades. And then biggest tip, use a flat paintbrush. Literally got this from Michael's for like $4. But that's what I'm doing. And then I'm just taking a makeup palette, this messy makeup palette, and I am just coating the brush in it, but making sure there's not a lot of product on there. And we haven't filled in our brows yet. So she's just cleaning up underneath the brow. And this will already give the brow a snatched appearance. So if you've had issues with like brows or you really don't know where to start, cleaning them up is like, don't worry about how you fill them in, because you can clean it up with concealer, and then that's when it'll look snatched. It's not when you fill it in, it's when you clean it up. To the lid, which is good for eye base, especially this being a matte concealer. I'm gonna use like a foundation brush, and you just make sure it's blended out. She's going in with the matte primer, which is great. Oily skin girls unite. If you're dry, you don't have to do this part. But I'm going to use a matte primer. She is using the Fenty one. I'm going to use the MAC one. So I have it in this little pot right here. Absolutely love this primer. I haven't used a matte primer in a very long time, even though I'm oily. It is a nice pore filling and just mattifying primer. Like, it doesn't just stop my oil. If I have like texture from scabs or, again, large pores, this fills them in so nicely. Absolutely love this primer. I have not, the last primer I fell in love with was the just like the e.l.f. Hydro Grip, but that is a hydrating primer. So I haven't like loved a matte primer in years. So she makes 2 NARS foundations, which I don't have. That's okay. She mixed a glowy foundation with a matte foundation, which if you've done it before, it's chef's kiss. My favorite MAC foundation, it is the Studio Pen foundation. I get NW45. And then I am going to mix it with my e.l.f. Halo Glow. Just gonna mix. Yes, I'm gonna use this flat brush right here. I got this from TikTok Shop. She was using a bigger flat brush, so let me get that. And that actually helps with timing too. So she is painting that on. You could think this looks too orange, but again, remember, I have all this discoloration. When I don't have all this discoloration, this is the color I am. And also this foundation like oxidizes, meaning it changes in color a little. So this is not the shade it'll stay. Trust me, this is my shade. Don't fear. And then she's cleaning up the top of her eyebrows with the foundation. That is like the biggest tip anyone can give you doing makeup. Like just little things you can do to be more like snatched and make everything more cohesive. Clean up the top of your brows with your foundation. Don't use your concealer like we did back in the day. Don't create that halo brow. So just clean up the top of your brows with your foundation, because that's, you know, what's going to be on your forehead. And then she blends everything out with a dense brush. Dense just means it's hard. Don't be afraid of it's hard, but that means you'll get more coverage out of it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm using a Real Techniques 200 brush, and she's just doing the patting motion. This is called stippling, where you're doing like a light tapping. And this is going to give you coverage and nice blendability. And she is saying in here about matching your foundation. She was saying she doesn't think it really matters to an extent. Like, she gets her shade, but she doesn't care if it's a little darker because when you highlight and contour, it's going to even everything out anyway. So if your foundation's a little darker, that's okay. She says she never goes lighter though, because you will have to fix too much if you go lighter. But if you go a shade or two darker, it's fine because you'll highlight with concealer in the middle. It kind of looks like you went ahead and contoured your whole face. So it is okay if you go a couple of shades darker. And just already look at the base. Just beautiful. She was saying, depending on how you like your coverage, if you use a sponge, it's going to soak up the product, so you'll have lighter coverage, where a brush will give you more coverage. So just use what you like the coverage on. If you want a lighter coverage, use a brush. If you want a fuller coverage, if you want a lighter coverage, use a sponge. If you want a deeper coverage, use a brush. She's using the Huda Beauty Full Filter. Don't have that, but a nice matte full coverage concealer. I'm still going to use my LA Girl. This is a good drugstore. This is all about placement too. So she puts it like right here in a nice little triangle. And then she does a little going out. This will give you a nice lifted effect. She sculpts her nose by bringing it down the nose, the concealer. Down to the mouth. So next she's contouring, and she says she puts it on the cheekbone. Usually people say put it a little under. She puts it actually on. So instead of me putting it right here, I'm going to put it right here. She's using a kind of flat slanted brush. This is a Japanese brush. And I'm using the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in Sunkissed. Going right on the cheekbone. Usually I will go under right here before super lifted effect. We're going to go right on the cheekbone. So. And we didn't go super deep with our contour. We went like a shade or two deeper than our skin tone. And she's putting it on while her concealer is setting. Out of on her forehead. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna take I'm gonna take a kind of slanted, not a slanted, but kind of flat brush. And she does it right down the bridge of the nose on either side. And then a really good hack is to put it right in the socket of the eye, where the eye and the nose meet, because that gives a more natural contour. She does the tip of her nose. And she says she doesn't blend it out because it acts as kind of like a pre-lip liner. And she says she doesn't blend this out. Okay. And then we're going to bring it on the side of the jaw. Give us a more snatched effect. And she does a piece going outside either part of the eye, because that'll give you a super lifted effect. So we're already doing the concealer to get lifted, and then we're doing the contour to get lifted. And this is not a lot of product either. My skin feels very light. I don't feel any makeup. Brush I got it from makeup school, so I can't even tell you the brand. I'm gonna clean it off because it was used. She says she likes to blend out her contour while the concealer's setting. And then you really, like, you're just tapping, or you're using an up motion so it stays where it needs to stay. Because if you do down, you just got rid of the whole reason for contouring. Likes to take a lighter foundation brush, like something that has a little more movement, that's less dense, to do the jawline. We'll connect the contour going down here with the jawline so it looks like a 3. Under eye brush, I'm taking my favorite one by AOA, Shop Miss A. It's literally $1. Doing under the eyes first. And we're gonna lightly blend that eye contour. It is easier to blend out. It's not as wet when you let it dry down. And I see that it was definitely easier to blend out. Usually I don't let it sit because I feel like my concealer creases a lot more when I do that. But I guess I didn't wait too long. Usually I would wait like 5 minutes. This didn't take 5 minutes and it's staying where I put it. So we're just using light tapping motions. So she's using a beauty blender. I'm gonna wet it with setting spray. Which I've been missing to do. Like I stopped doing a beauty blender for a while because it was taking so much coverage away. But I honestly do notice a difference. Like it really helps everything look more seamless and blendable. And then she's using the same brush she used to blend out the bronzer to like meld everything together. Or well, no, actually this one. And this kind of melds everything together. You see how that was like a harsh line at first right here, but I went back in with the bronzer brush and that like covered it, but it's still snatched. Makeup Man. And then if you go over the whole face, okay, now we're blending out that socket part, which I love doing. I think it's so cool. And you see that just already starts the nose contour blending. Like already is looking snatched. Concealer down my nose. Actually, she didn't use concealer down her nose, so my bad. But it's okay. It didn't like ruin anything. I'm just using kind of like a dense eyeshadow brush and just blending that contour into the eye socket one. Okay, so next step in concealer, she uses one shade lighter than the shade she just used. So I'm just gonna go in with the lighter shade. And then she blends it out with the beauty blender. So she does the triangle, but she just does it under, like the under eye. She doesn't do it on the outside area. She doesn't move past like right here. And this is adding a touch of brightness. Okay, so she did bring it out. That's why I have to wait. But it's okay because I have stuff left on my sponge. So I just bring it out with what's on my sponge. And then she sprays with a setting spray. The base looks super nice. I feel like it matches me good. I feel like this matches my skin tone and my face shape. I feel like I look like me versus when I would do my makeup before. I'm trying to transform, but not in a good way. Like makeup's to transform, but like I just felt like I was doing too much. So she was saying she sometimes is scared of the setting phase because it can make or break the look. So you can set with the sponge or brush. She's gonna go in with the brush, so I'm gonna go in with the brush. Real Techniques. It's called the 421 brush. So you see how nice that looks? It's like slanted, but you can tap. So nice. I'm going to use Laura Mercier Translucent Honey. It's a yellowish based one too. Translucent Honey looks like. Pot the excess on your hand. She said. Powder bronzer. What I use is the Juvia's Place Warrior 2 palette. This is what it looks like, and I use this shade right here. And I'm going to use a Japanesque. Yeah, I'm just going to use a Japanesque brush. So just tap it in there, and then where you put that powder bronzer. So it brings that warmth back in after you set your face. Okay, and then she's taking like a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and she's taking that bronzer where we put it on the eyes. Not the eyes, the nose. So we're doing that in the eye socket and going a little bit down. Now she's gonna use a brighter powder. So I'm gonna take the Laura Mercier regular translucent powder. She's taking a good amount on her hand, but again, we're tapping off that excess. And then she's going right where we put that bright color. Do my eyes, like set it. I'm gonna blend it out. Again, if you have oily eyelids, do this part. Then I'm gonna take some powder, press it on my lid. And you wanna set that concealer you used under the brows. Take that bronzer where you did that line, so it's reinforced. So now we're setting with spray again. And then she starts doing her brows. If you do your brows before, you don't have to change up your brow routine. But again, we're doing a feathered brow look, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to take the NYX Brow Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. Love this, because literally, you see the liner draws. So we're just going to give it a feathered brow effect. I will be doing a tutorial on brows, so stay tuned. So we're gonna get to the eyeshadow portion. She really just puts bronzer in her crease. I am going to do like a fun pop of pink on my eyes, so it has nothing to do with that. So I will be right back. Hey guys, I am back with the eyes done. I did like a light bronze smoky. I did a pop of pink and then got some fluttery lashes on. These are by Beats by Deb. And the palette I used was Beats by Deb. So go get Beats by Deb. But we're about to finish the look. But what she just did for the eyes is she basically did bronzer on the lid, crease, and then she did kind of like black liner, like on her waterline, and then she like blended that out, and then she added mascara, and then a false lash. Okay, so we're about to do the go-to, which is a brown lip liner. She is using MAC Chestnut. She just lines her lips the way she likes to do it. Okay, lips are lined. Just a mauve pinky color. This is like a lip liner from the hair store. I'm just doing it all over the lips. I'm gonna mix two. This is Juvia's Place Macchiato, and then I'm using like a mauve color from Dollar Tree. Oh, wait, I think I'm just gonna do Macchiato. If you know clear, no matter what other gloss you put on, you need to do a clear gloss on top. Okay, last step is we're gonna set with setting spray and then we're good. Final reveal. I love it. I really like it. Only thing I would say is my acne mark, she has absolutely perfect skin, so I can't say I don't like that there's not a lot of coverage, because it looks like a lot of coverage on her skin because she has perfect skin. Whereas someone like me, I should have added a little more coverage right here in the cheek area, like in the middle. I just didn't. So that's on me. But honestly, like in natural lighting, you can't see, like it's fine. It's just because we're up close. But the base in general, I'm happy with. Because I've been doing my base for the past couple of weeks and just been like, what is that? Like, I have not been liking my base. Okay, so things to notice. We didn't use blush. Things to notice. We did not use blush. You do not have to. Bronzer has like a warmth to it, so you do not have to do blush. But if you want to add blush, you can. Like, there are no rules. Like, if you follow her makeup routine and then add blush, it's fine. The brows we did after. Usually I do my brows before, but doing them after gives them a nice softer, like feathered appearance. So if you've just been wanting to do a softer brow, do them after your base is done. Like the lip. But contour and everything, I feel like super snatched. It's super lifted. So I'm super happy with it. My skin's just different. I do have texture. I do have acne. I am oily, you know? So it is not going to look the exact same, but I would say it turned out pretty dang good, you know? Let me know what you think down below. I really enjoyed this look. Thank you to Uchjn, if that's how you say her name. Thank you to her for posting her tutorials, because a lot of people could gatekeep and they're like, I'm not going to tell you anything. But she decided to do full tutorial for the girls, you know? She's a girl's girl. So I had super fun following along. I have a ton of other people to follow. We're going to do once a week. So stay tuned for this makeup artist relearning makeup series. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to list everything down below. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.